Do you ever find yourself doing things in your life that you know you shouldn't do, or that you know are not in your self-interest? Well, today we're going to talk about that. Why do I do things that I know are not good for me? So principle-based living, this channel is all about recognizing and understanding that there are laws that govern the world in which we live. And those laws they're laws like gravity. And so gravity exists and operates whether you know about it, whether you believe it, or whether you understand it. And just as there are laws that govern the physical world in which we live, there are laws that govern things like happiness and relationships and success. The other part of this is that everything that you do in life, you do for a reason, or you wouldn't do it. The problem is that oftentimes we're unaware of why we are doing the things that we're doing because we're on autopilot, which means the subconscious part of our brain is what's functioning and driving our behavior. And we're on autopilot about 90% of the time. So let's talk about now then, why is it that I do things that I know are not in my best interest or may not be good for me? And you can think in your life, what are, some of those things? And the reason that we do it is because there's a payoff. There's an outcome that we get from that. So everything in life we do, or everything in life that you do for a reason. And the reason is for the outcome of that behavior. But if I know something is not good for me, then why would I do it or continue to do it? And the reason is, so this behavior that I do gives me an outcome that I like. So it makes me feel good, or it makes me happy, or it helps me avoid something that I don't want to deal with. It changes my state. And so this behavior seems to work for me. So why would I give up or change any behavior that is working? The truth is, I won't. And here's the other thing. Well, let me ask you this. Have you ever done anything in your life that you didn't want to do? And the usual answer to that is, yeah, well, I do things all of the time that I don't want to do. That's a false belief. Because the truth is, every one of us do exactly what we want to do. Everything that you do in your life, you do it because you want to. Now, again, you may want to argue that, with me and say, no, there are things that I do that I don't want to do. Like there are days that I don't want to go to work. Well, then why do you go to work? There's nobody that's forcing you to go to work. It's a choice that you're making. Now, you may choose to go to work because you don't want to lose your job. But the fact is, you're still choosing to go to work. So I would rather go to work than to lose my job. But what happens when we don't understand this, when we think that we do things in life that we don't want to do, what happens is we're actually giving away our accountability and we are disempowering ourselves. Because the truth is, you can do whatever you want to do within the situation or the circumstance that you're in. Now, the other part of that is there are consequences for everything that you do. And we have other videos where we talk a lot about cause and effect and the consequences for our behavior. And the reason for those consequences is because the consequences teach us about what's working and what's not working. So why would you choose to do a behavior that you know is not in your best interest, that is not working for you? Well, the reason is because in the short term, that behavior gives you the result that you want. And we are so conditioned, and we live in a society more and more that way, where we want immediate gratification. If we don't feel good right now, well, we want to feel good. And so, we'll take a pill or we'll do whatever to change our state because we don't want to experience whatever it is that we're experiencing. And society conditions us that that's what, we can expect. The problem with that is oftentimes when we go for that immediate gratification, we call that doing the easy hard. Because what it is in the moment I'm taking the easy way out to give me a temporary solution, but then long term it makes things more difficult, or it creates more problems in my life. So think about that in your life. Are there things that you are doing that you know are not in your best interest? And it gives you that immediate payoff, that immediate reward, but long term you're feeling worse about yourself as a person. That behavior is becoming more and more ingrained and more habitual and more difficult to stop. And so all I'm doing is delaying the outcome of the negative consequence that's going to come from that behavior. So you can choose to do the easy hard, or you can begin to do the hard easy, which is to recognize that this behavior is not benefiting me long term. And making selfish choices. Now, selfish choices are those that seem to benefit us in the short term, but do not benefit us long term. Those choices also do not benefit others. Self-interest choices benefit me and others in the long term. In the short term, it may be difficult and it may seem like it doesn't benefit us, but long term it does. So maybe what you need to do is learn to delay the payoff, delay the gratification, delay the outcome. Recognize, what are my beliefs and my thoughts that are driving this behavior, and make sure that my thoughts and beliefs are based on truth or based on principle. And if they're not, so again, this would be recognizing that this behavior is not benefiting you long term. It's giving you, this short term payoff, but long term it's creating more problems in your relationships. It's creating more pain. And so when I recognize that in my thoughts and beliefs, then I can change those and say, okay, it may be benefiting you in the short term, but long term it's not. So I'm going to delay this outcome. I'm going to use self-discipline to control my behavior, control my thoughts, control my emotions, change them to the state that I want to be in, and then practice behaving in accordance with that. As you do that, that old behavior will begin to weaken and the new behavior will begin to strengthen itself. And over time, this will become your new autopilot. This will become your new way of behaving. So whenever you're in that situation, whenever you're triggered, you'll now respond with the new behavior that will give you what you want long term. This is the way really to achieve true happiness and true success in your life. Thanks for watching. Be sure and subscribe to our channel. If you want to know more about principle-based living, visit our website. It's listed down below. And if you're watching this on LinkedIn, be sure and follow me there.